Thank you very much. Please be patient. We supposed to had a short break before, but we are running out of time, so we'll do a short break after the young designer talks and before the master talk, okay? And next, we have two more to go. Next, I would like to introduce our Taiwanese representative, Mr. Haojun Hong. He graduated from a Master of Architecture in Design from the Bartlett School of Architecture in University College London, and a postgraduate diploma in Architecture and Urban Studies from University of Brighton, and also a Bachelor of Architecture from Tamgang University. Great. And Hao Jun also worked with the Heatherwick Studio as a senior designer, and he founded his own practice. How to pronounce this? Ouroboros Studio Lab. All right, I'll pass the mic to you now. Thank you.
Let me try again.
Because this one don't have a tight squeeze, but I can try to.
Maybe I use this one? This one?
Yeah. I'll try this one.
This one?
This one.
Technology is always a problem.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hao Jun, and I'm going to introduce my practice. Okay, I was born and grew up in Taiwan. I finished my undergraduate degree in Daejeon University. Then I worked in Taiwan for a couple of years. Then I decided to go overseas for my master's degree. So I went to the University of Brighton. Then I decided to go to Bartlett. After I finished my master's degree, I was very lucky to join the Heatherwick Studio, which is Sato-san mentioned before, the UK-based studio. Okay, so this is my introduce of my studio, but I cannot skip it because time is limited. So my experience at the studio. Okay, so the first project I have attended was the 2012 the London Olympic Cauldron. The project is really interesting because we were thinking that every time Olympic, every country make like a big, really big barbecue, fire park, cauldron. Then after the Olympic complete, no one knows how to deal with that because the government doesn't want to spend money to demolish it. So just abandon the cauldron there, and no one else want to, yeah. Okay. So we got the idea. We tried to divide it, a big Olympic cauldron to 204 small pedals, which means the countries attend the Olympic, the number of the countries who attend the Olympic Games in London. So this is a process we have made our mock-up in the studio. Then we produce it outside of the factory. Then the countries who attend the Olympic Games, after that games, you can get one pedals and take as a gift back to your country. So in this project, we are trying to talking about how to give and how to share with this spirit of the Olympic game. Okay, so afterwards, I joined a mega scale project in Shanghai. We call that 1,000 Trees. So in this project, we try to redesign artificial landscape in Shanghai city. So as you can see, around our side is all like really high-rise, high-density residential buildings. So we were thinking if we do the same with land, it will very, very boring and it will be very painful for the environments. So we want to embrace and open the site to encourage people to get into this site, to enjoy the space. Okay, so this is the last year we spent 10 years just build this half, the lower mountain, 10 years. So for now, we're gonna spend another 10 years to build this one, total one. Okay. So the mountains is opened last year. We raised the columns above the building, and we put greeneries, plants on the column to try to make real mountains and connect with environments, rivers, and our neighbors. Okay, so you can see it's like a really, really big mountain in Shanghai city, but everyone likes it because we redesigned the landscape as well. So for now, every afternoon, we can see mothers with his daughter and dancing on the plaza in the gardens. Okay, so this is the pictures. So we are really excited. We spent 10 years to complete the half of the mountain. So on the other side of the mountain, we got the idea, which is we cut through the mountain to show like honeycomb space. For this honeycomb space, it is window to introduce sunlight into the interiors, and also we invite the local artists to create their artwork on our facade. So this is interiors, because this project is huge. So it includes variety programs such as department store, shopping mall, hotel, cinema, hotel apartments. So we spend a lot of time to think about how to put so many programs into one building. So that's why we spent 10 years. Okay, so we are really looking forward to finish another mountain. And also I am planning to go to Shanghai next year to meet with my ex-colleagues to see this project. Okay, so from left side, it was like 10 years ago. It's Thomas and me, my ex-boss. Early this year, I went back to London to visit Thomas and my ex-colleagues. He was really happy. So you can see after 10 years, I got a daughter and I got older, but Thomas always looked like young. So for me, it's really happy because that Thomas is not just like a boss. He's like a big brother and also my teacher. We always discuss about our new projects and also thinking about how to make extraordinary design. Okay, so after the practice in the studio, I went back to my hometown in 2017. It's really, really different because in London, we can work with the best consultant in the world, such as Arab. But in Taiwan, we need to do everything by our own. We don't have like best consultants. So I start to observe our surroundings and my environment. So in Taiwan, we can always see, also Asian cities, we can always see like this, people like spend 1 hour to build a canopy. And they can do whatever they want under this canopy, like funeral, weddings, have dinner, have lunch, and also other activities. So this really like stunned me because I think this is like really like vivid life in my city. So also we can see like this like a really local restaurant in Taipei. They use like really cheap lighting system and stainless steel for the interiors, just for business. And also like these illegal structures just pop up on the building facade. They want to gain more space for their own usage. And also the water tank just pop up on the roof. There's one time I went to a restaurant in the countryside of Taiwan. Then I asked the owner, where's the toilet? He said, okay, just go upstairs, then follow the light. Okay, follow the light. Okay, I went upstairs, follow the light, then I arrived at a balcony. Then I looked around. I found what? They put their private kitchen on the balcony. Then I look opposite. Okay, it's toilet on the balcony. This is really counterintuitive. It's nonsense because everyone here are all designers. We all have professional training, but we don't do like this. We don't do put toilet and kitchen on balcony, but they do this. So this wow, it's really amazing. So after I go into the toilet, I suddenly realized why they want to put toilet on the balcony, because there's a window. When I'm in the toilet, I can see the beautiful sensories around here. Yeah. Okay, so before I get into my project, I want to share a video to everyone. Sorry. Okay, the first project I want to introduce is Guan. As you can see in the video, this project is in the oldest industrial area in Taipei City. So you can see like a really chaos environment inside there. So this my client, the second generation, they bought these new properties and try to transfer their industry in a new era. So as we can see, we always see like this anti-dust net in a construction site. And, but this net only exists for temporary because once the construction period finished, they will remove the net. So we're thinking, why don't we make this to be permanent facade? Okay. And also in the countryside, people always do like this, use this soft fibers or net to do like waterproof or windproof stuff, and also it's easy to clean, easy to maintain. Also, we see in this factory in the Taiwan, they always do like this, like small canopies, they do by themselves. So we spent like 6 months to research in this industrial area to try to construct those elements, materials, local techniques, and we combine together in this project. So we can see this perspective. The ground floor is the factory and the storage. The first floor is my client's office and reception. The third floor is multifunctional space and for exhibition, for any events. So from the short facade, we want to increase the outline of the building facade with the old building with the before. So we use like stainless plate, try to recombine the materials that industrial area they always to use, but combine with a contemporary design way to give the factory new face. Then on the other hand, the other facade, we use the anti-dust net to create a really like abstract facade in the building. So we can see from the top to the bottom, the net is gradually change the density of transparency. So in the night, we can see in the daytime, the net will filter the strong sunlight into the interiors. So in the night, the interior lighting will go out of the building to create beautiful sensories. So this is we reopen the canopies, reopen the space to connect with our neighbors, because in the industrial area, everyone just want to increase their spaces. They don't want to share. We propose this idea to our client. We need to share our space for our neighbors. Then for now, my clients, they have barbecue with their neighbors. So this is the first floor for storage and factory usage. Okay, first floor. Then the second floor is a reception. So we got a new like big window. As I mentioned before, the net will like fill the strong sunlight gradually into the interiors. So my client and his wife, for now they love to sit beside the window and have a cup of coffee. After drinking, they can start their work for today. Okay, this is the second floor. Okay, the third floor, because it is a multifunctional space, so and also because our client is a professional elevator manufacturer, so we work with them. We proposed a really strange idea because this is also a pandemic project as well, just completed last year. So we proposed to our client, we said that if this elevator doesn't have any button, we control by voice. Is that possible? Our client was like, what? Are you serious? Okay, so we made it. So for now, you just walk close to the elevators and tell her tell her, hello, elevators, I want to go to second floor. And she will take you to second floor without any hand. Okay, so this is the third floor. Then we invited 3 artists and asked them to use industrial materials to create the artwork and make a new exhibition project in this space. And also we joined Open House Taipei last year. So many people came to visit this building. What we want to do is we want to reopen the industrial area because in Taiwan, industrial area is really closed. Except you have business trade with these owners. No one else want to go into industrial area because it's noisy, it's dirty, it's not comfortable. So from this project, we have started to embrace and open the industrial area for local people, for the public. Okay, the second project I want to share with you guys is Momentum Museum. So this is an exhibition. It's this year's Taiwan Creative Expo. So as you can see in Taiwan or Asia country, you always see like this. This is like steel ball that we use everywhere. And for me, it's kind of like a beauty because it's like a college painting on our facade. So I try to transfer the image of the public because everyone think this is ugly. I want to remove this to make like a new, like really expensive marble facade. But we don't think like that. Okay, so this is an example as well. Okay, so in this exhibition, we redesigned this car-grade steel plate in this exhibition space. We wrap around these heritage buildings and redesign the scales, sizes, and how to collage this car-grade steel ball. And to try to tell the people, this is not ugly. This is representing our culture and what Taiwan environment is. Okay. So like a different like a small posters, and also like tiny canopies for show. Okay. So the third project is La Maison Escalade. This project is in a new department store in Taiwan, Taipei. Our client asked us to do a really difficult mission because she hoped that this selective store, when he finished here, her rental period, they want to remove all of this, recycle all of the partitions to another place. So it's more like a sustainable projects we do first time. So we were thinking about maybe we can use like this angle bar. We see everywhere in Taiwan, really cheap materials. And also we always see like this in the construction site, we use this galvanized steel plate for the construction site fence. We try to recombine these two elements together and make it to be fashion and new and beautiful. So this is our drawings and try to study and research how to put those two elements together. So this is the finished photos. So as you can see, there's 3 metal boxes in the space. It's really simple. So, sorry, okay. So the first metal box is for exhibition. The second one is for changing clothing. The third one is backstage. Okay. So we also try to convince our client this space shouldn't just sell clothing. They should do anything. So okay, so different details. Okay, so afterwards we'll try to have some like different activities and events, such as like this selection shop. Yeah, to connect with different peoples. So once you get into this space, you can buy anything you want. You can buy this chair, you can buy this, even this marble, you can buy it. And also we curate a market in this space. Just try to bring people together to enjoy the space. The space. Okay, so next project is catalysis chamber. For this project, our client they were doing manufacture of the paper for like past 5 decades. So they want to transfer their branding to become a new brand of their future. So we try to think about how to present their product, which is paper. And also we propose an idea how to connect behavior, material with human. So that we can see like every time when the vehicle leaking oil, we can see like this on the street. Okay. Then we found that this is also the galvanized process for the nails. And through this rusting-proof process, we can avoid our elements get rusty. So, but we think this quality is really beautiful because it presents like a rainbow colors on it. So we try to use this into the space. We designed it really thin frame for the display different type of papers for our client. And also we use like construction ladders for the inspection table. Then afterwards, we complete the space. We try to invite young people and 2 artists. They also doing DJ stuff as well. Join in this space to celebrate it. And to try to bring together to make people to connect with papers. Because before our clients' products always are exported overseas. No one knows, in Taiwan, no one knows their products. We can discuss with our clients, you should reintroduce your products to Taiwanese people. And also, you can work with designers, artists to make new papers for future. So for now, you can see like a lot of different types of papers for different usages. And also, we design a moss wall to bring some natural elements into the space. And behind the chamber, we renovate their previous office to be a smallest gallery in Taipei. So this gallery, it collaborates with young artists. They can have their own exhibition in this space. Then, for now, so many designers, architects, they go to the chamber and work with them to try to do some experiment for the new product and the new papers, such as this one. This one they mix with rice into the paper. So if you smell the paper, you can smell the like really nice smells of the rice. Okay, so I nearly finished my presentation. So we always observe our surroundings, especially like this, like really normal situation in Taiwan, such as this, like in construction site, we like just tied out the anti-dust net. So thinking maybe we can do in something in our project, such as this. So for this year, we try to do some dynamic stuff in architecture and also in the space. So I gonna show a little bit to everyone because it's still ongoing. So this project in Taipei, in Yongkang Street. So it's still under construction. Yeah, still try to do some experiment. Yeah. And also this one is for a new exhibition in New Taipei City. I will try to do some dynamic stuff in our space. Okay, so if everyone have interest in of our project, please add our Instagram to get more information. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And again, may I please invite Mr. Horace Pan to come to the stage and present the certificate to Hao Jun. Thank you. Thank you very much. So next, our last young speaker, I would like to introduce our representative from Hong Kong, Mr. Calvin Kong. Calvin Kong is currently the design director at the Groundwork Architects and Associates Limited. He holds a professional membership and is a registered architect in the Hong Kong Institute of Architects since 2017. Calvin acquired his master's in architecture at Harvard University Graduate School of Design in 2007 and also obtained a Bachelor of Architecture degree from Cornell University College of Architecture, Arts and Planning in 2005. Can we please have a big round of applause to welcome Calvin, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Calvin. Hi everyone. I'm the new design director at Groundwork, but I actually just joined Groundwork 2 months ago. So I suppose it's not very appropriate for me to present previous projects that I haven't worked on. But I do want to tell you guys a story today of how I ended up joining Groundwork. And it's basically a summary of my experiences from school up till this point. So 20 years of experience, I want to condense it into one presentation to show you what I've gone through to get to this point and what it holds for me in the future as well. So I want to talk about timeline, where I started and how I envision it to finish. Although there's not really a finishing point to this, but I do want to tell this story because this story actually comes to a crescendo within the past few months. So, and now I'm trying to start a new beginning. But I do want to tell you what I've been through for the past 20 years, I suppose. So I did my fair share of studio time. Left is actually, I remember it's called Rand Hall at Cornell, which is now demolished and turned into Millside Hall, designed by OMA. And then right side is Gun Hall when I was at GSD, and countless hours, sleepless nights there. But the whole experience actually was very rewarding, even though it's a bit, it's out of my expectation. So I did manage to graduate, luckily, and got my master's degree in architecture. So my background is actually in architectural studies, not interior design. And I can tell you a little bit more of how I got into interior design and how it shaped my design career onwards. But I did start out as an architect. After I graduated from Harvard, I actually went to work for Foster for 3 years in London. And during that time, I remember learning about all the technical drawings, worked on the most prestigious projects in the world. But I also started at Foster doing car park layouts for 6 months. So I've moved around a lot of car parks, around columns, making sure circulation works, and that was 6 months of my work at Foster. After that, I started to develop a little bit more my design skills and my documentation skills, and I got to eventually work on some of the biggest projects in the world. In fact, on the left side is actually a museum in Abu Dhabi that's being built right now called the Sheikh Zayed Museum, and I was responsible for the interior part of it, drawing all the construction drawings, coordinating with consultants and such. And as you can see, in the center is actually my room in London, and that's basically, I picked a location closest to Battersea, where Foster is, and that's a location in Queensgate, which is one of the most expensive areas in London. So I remember half of my rent went to this tiny little room that's about like 100, maybe 100 more square feet. So I lived there for 3 years, and without a TV, with a window facing a wall across. So that was basically 3 years of my life. And after that, since my family is in Hong Kong, so I decided to move back and try to start a career in Hong Kong. But when I got back to Hong Kong, at the time, I didn't want to do architecture anymore. I was fed up with architecture, to be honest. I've seen too much. It's too stressful. The pay is not proportionate to the workload that we put in. So at the time, I actually tried something completely different, 180 degrees different. And it has nothing to do with architecture. But then it led me to my former boss, which is Brian Chan. He's the boss of BC&D in Hong Kong. And he actually kind of became my mentor for the past 12 years. So everything I learned about interior design, I learned from him, basically. This is one of the projects that's actually ongoing that we're doing in the Philippines, which is quite interesting. So I always imagine my life is kind of like one of those snake games on the phone where you eat all the red apple dots. I think it's a really old school phone game. So I always imagine my career or my life to be something like that, which is never in a straight line. I would always want to challenge myself to step out of my comfort zone and to do something different in order to inspire me or actually give me a different take on the current stuff that I'm facing. So as you can see, we've developed a lot of ideas, projects along the way. And mind you, this presentation maybe has not so much to do with design, but the life of a designer, how I arrived here. I can show you a little bit more about my work later, and also what Groundwork is currently doing. But I do want to focus on how I got here. So as you can see, over the years, I think 12 years, we've worked on countless projects. And if you don't know Brian, he's the kind of guy that's a perfectionist, always thinks outside the box, but does everything so refined and so pristine details that it's really inspiring. Coming from Foster, I thought I knew about design, but as an architect is completely different when you go into the interior design field. I realized that I have no sense of touch or feel like interior designers, and that's a process that took me 12 years to learn. And now I'm okay with this. I think I'm proficient with this, but it taught me a lot, basically. So over the years, we worked very tightly on different projects, had amazing fun, laughs, sadness, everything. And actually this year, a few months ago, he passed away. And he passed away, actually, it's by a complication of infection. It's totally preventable. But unfortunately, he didn't survive. So it really put my whole career in perspective. What's important to me, what I want to do henceforth, how I react to this. As you guys know, it's not easy to dissolve a company and help my staff move on to a new company. So I had a choice then, which was 4 months ago. I could either just walk away, join another company. That's the easiest way to do this. Or I can stick around, try to find a new home for the staff, and try to find a new beginning, a new family for myself. So during these past few months, I went out to explore, to talk to different people, to talk to different firms. I must have spoken to about like 10 different design firms, asking them with my own conditions whether I can bring all my staff over and in a way help their company, but also help my own staff to survive this. So a few months ago, I met Manfred from Groundwork, and at the time I was out in meetings every single day, talking to different people, and somehow I connected with Manfred on a level that I believe his Groundwork's work is extremely inspiring, and I admire their work because they always try to do something different as well. In a way, they try to dematerialize architecture into something less hard, but more soft. Maybe it's more about the content, more about social spaces, more about placemaking, what a place means to the people who are using it, rather than what I'm accustomed to before, or what I was taught during the past decade, that it's about details, it's about refinement, it's about making something like really nice. But then what after that? You can make something nice, and it's always subjective. However, if you create a change that could affect people, that's much more, I think that effect is much more lasting. So after very serious considerations, in fact, there were a few paths in front of me that I could have taken. But I chose Groundwork because it's not a straight path. In fact, I see a lot of challenges working with Manfred together to strengthen the company. But this is the challenge that I chose because I never wanted to walk a straight path. And the more challenging it is, the more I want to take on because once you knock out all these challenges, you know that you can do, you know yourself, I think, more after each challenge. So I picked the hardest route. And I think after 2 months of working here, I have to say, I think I still picked the right choice. And I hope in the future, I already see a lot of synergy between us, between me and the new company. And a lot of work, I think, is really truly amazing. So this is I suppose this would be my new family. Meeting new people, striking up new relationships. And we have a Shenzhen office as well. So just a brief history of what our company is about. Manfred also does a lot of these talks. He also teaches at university. And working with Manfred, I think the most inspiring thing is the way he approaches each project is really out of the box. At the same time, he works within the box, meaning he does a lot of soft design, a lot of content design, a lot of streetscape, parkscapes, interesting shapes, interesting forms, trying to elicit an emotion from the people who are visiting his building or his work. So the way we see it is there's always the hard side of it. There's the building in architecture, for example, there's the building, there's the materials, the hard part. But then the soft part, it's almost like you're just creating a glass box and you're letting the content inside dictate what the look and feel of the box is. So all you're doing is providing a backdrop for what could happen in the inside. And in this way, I see a very clear dematerialization of architecture, of design. How can you design something without giving it a shape? So this is the crux of our thesis. There's architecture and there's also building. We don't just want to do building. We want to do architecture. We want to do design. We want to do design that affects people, that creates a difference, creates a better social environment. So for example, this is one of the projects that we're currently working on. It's the Hong Kong Design Center in Shamshui-Po. And our scope of work, I think it's easiest to understand the analogy from the comparison with hard and soft. So we're creating these spaces that are flexible in terms of design, could accommodate different installations, not necessarily have to do with the building shape or form, but what content it could display. For example, during Chinese New Year, it could switch to another installation, Christmas, another one. So it's more about the use of the space rather than the architecture or the language of the space. So inspired by Shamshui-Po colors, fabrics, during Chinese New Year, you could easily display really festive stuff here to activate the space, to attract people to come. Christmas time, I know it's not a very good rendering of this, but the design intent is to create a space that would allow for different installations or different soft programs to occur. As you can see, previously we've did a lot of renderings for this, a lot of ideas, and this kind of style is actually not, as you can see, there's from my experience, this is not what I'm accustomed to doing, but that's the attraction to me. Can we have synergy between a very traditional kind of interior design versus a very avant-garde or a very forth-looking kind of interior design. And I think the synergy that we have currently already proves that it's possible. How to be future proof, having materials that are a little bit more futuristic, a little bit more out there, avant-garde, out of the box, not your classical, typical modern style design. So just more images on the project itself. And this is where I'm at right now. 4 months later since everything happened. And during this time, also a contractor that I worked with, actually from when I was young, also passed away because of a freak accident. So all these things piling up on me this whole year led me to kind of reflect back into my past, my experiences as a student, as a fresh grad, as an architect, as an interior designer. So it's a transformation that happened, that took 20 years for me to get here. And previously I thought, okay, there's always a start and then there's a finish. But now I'm seeing it a little bit more, like a little bit differently. So 6 months ago, I was really, dealing with a lot of stuff, and very upset, of course, because my mentor had just passed away. But at the time, I didn't know that, but it's actually an opportunity. When one thing ends, I believe it's the beginning of another thing. So it's very sad that this happened, but it's actually an opportunity for me to go out and see different things, learn more about different things, and see what it could bring to my own skills or my career. So the way I see it now is not from start to finish, but I'm going in a loop. So 20 years ago, I was an architectural student, very passionate, wanting to make a difference. 20 years later, I'm starting from scratch again at a new company, but of course my skill set is enhanced, is better now. But I believe this, and I hope this will be a new start for me again. So I look forward to the next 20 years, and hopefully it would be as painful, as hard, as rewarding as my past 20 years. So that's it, a simple story about my career. I can show you a little bit more about my designs, about Groundworks work currently, but today I'm happy to just share my story with you guys.
Thank you, Calvin, for sharing this wonderful story with us. And thank you so much for freeing up so much time for me, because we've been running behind so much. So yeah, it's been a long day, but we have the biggest presentation after this. What about we do a short toilet break now while we do the setup for the Master Talk Part 1, which we have the Master Alan Chan and also Tino Guan from Hong Kong to give us the Master Talk. So please take a short break, but not too long. Oh, sorry, I forgot this. Not professional enough. But anyway, let me finish this sentence. Okay, take a short break and then come back no later than 10 minutes, please. And then we'll, exact time will be 10 past 5. 10 past 5? Yes. Yeah. Thank you. And may I please invite Chairman Horace Pan to present the certificate to Calvin, please.
Very good.
Thank you very much. So see you in 10 minutes, okay? Thank you.
Anyway, let's start with the first video first and then we wait. Okay, let's start with the first video. We use this loudspeaker. All right. Can we turn on the volume? So anyway, that's why I'm not just a designer. I'm a photographer. I'm a singer. I sing French, Italian songs. And if you want to hear me singing tonight, please buy the ticket outside before you enter into the room. So I do all kind of stuff. I'm also a designer. I'm a photographer. I'm a digital artist. So in the following presentation, we'll see a variety of work, vertical, horizontally, what I've been doing in the last 53 years of my career. This is, I'm just waiting for the section to come. So this is our latest project. We collaborate with two master Tino of the lighting, and Eno happened to have to fly to Singapore today for a special assignment, whatever. He couldn't make it. So this is probably the most contemporary Chinese restaurant in Hong Kong. Shanghaiese food we serve, which we're going to eat tonight. Capitalize on the concept of Chinese garden. So every single detail is derived from the Suzhou garden, which I'm sure you're all aware of. From the paneling, all these panels are adjustable. So the glass we use on the panels actually resemble water in the garden. Then we have a sort of a Zen garden carpet here, done within the budget. So it's not the most ideal one, but I did it many times. This is probably this is still a drifting effect in the nighttime, especially. The concept of this restaurant is because it's located on the top floor Empress. So my first attitude respect to this is the Herzog, the architect. So we should be able to create a space, not just a space, but all the texture, the design language had to synchronize with Herzog, meaning all the material he used, all the cement finishes, all the lateral material, all the kind of understated elegance, Chinese sophistication from Chinese architecture. So how do we incorporate those exterior into the interior of the space? So make sure this actually belong to the same body, same kind of DNA, same kind of language. So we came up, first idea was, because also architecturally, spatial-wise, this is a very long, narrow corridor. So, and so we stuck with it. So the instant concept was about Chinese garden, where we have all the corridors. So this was based on the corridor of a Chinese garden that derived the concept of this restaurant. So we use Chinese green, we use a lot of Suzhou mosaic tiles in the garden, but in a different way. We try to keep it very monochromatic in colors because that's also the language of this building. So there was basically no color. So when we did the presentation to the client, and they were asking where are the colors, so I said the color came from the audience. So the different kind of customer who came into the restaurant will bring the colors into the restaurant. We are here to provide a monochromatic, symbolic Chinese element that everybody sit here looking beautifully with our backdrop. So there were trees, artificial tree with real trunk and fake leaf that were strategically planted in the main dining room where we can have dinner together. So when the light came down, the magic comes alive, and the entire restaurant turned into a very Kyoto-inspired kind of lighting, like a sakura tree light up in the evening. That's the kind of effect that Tino has been trying to achieve for this project. Can we make it? Okay, try the next video maybe. Okay, before we see the next video, COVID, I think we all stuck here. We were here for 3.5 years. I only started traveling last November to Kyoto, Tokyo, then to Europe. And the last 2 was in Shanghai. So during the 2.5 years, while we were stuck, so we lost more than 50% business because I cannot travel to China anymore. So I started to think about what can I do. So for the last 2.5 years, we spent a lot of time working on a book published in Milano by Rizzoli. The book is about my collection. The name of the book is called Alan Chen Collecting Inspiration for Design, because I actually graduated as a science student. I never studied design in my life. But I love design. I was trained as an advertising man. So all my inspiration, a lot of them were inspired by my collection, from an old postcard, old poster, a vintage vase to a piece of furniture, to whatever you name it. So all those gave me a lot of inspiration that geared me to who I am today. So I would like to share with you this project about my book. So the book, before it started, I actually went to all the auction house, bring all the dialogue, the big brother to come and look at my collection and give me an insight how they see my collection in the point of whether they do agree those are the collection that inspire my creative journey. So that quotation has been captured and written in the book. No sound at all. Okay. So. Yeah. Okay. 可唔可以大聲？呢個你嘅，好大聲。I collect vintage books, textbooks from all over the world. I collect toys, secret card from the 1930s. So this is the project I collaborated with Kosaka-san, who happened to be here just now, many years ago. So we commissioned artists all over the world, 20 different artists. I collect ceramic, I collect jade. Also, we work for Louis Vuitton in Paris. I collect Buddha image. This is my gallery in Kyoto. SMBC is the largest bank in Japan, so we did the identity for them based on the Japanese-Chinese screen. In the book, if you want to buy the limited edition of Emperor, there's a scroll written by a monk, written 200 years ago in Kyoto. It said, "But Moon Moon," because you're not satisfied, ultimately you get a satisfaction out of it. So with this edition book, you can have this reproduction scroll in the book together. Okay, the next project I want to share with you guys is I work closely with auction houses on different events. About 2 years ago, I collaborated with Christie Hong Kong for a private sale. So we co-selected some of the objects, painting, sculpture, which they're about to sell online, and they display in my private salon. I have a private salon which I entertain. During the 3 years, entertainment among my friends. So I would like to share with you this video.
Collecting is about collecting memories. As a designer, as a curator, I keep reminding myself, how could I move on? How could I learn more? And I found collecting is the best solution of all.
I'm so excited to be here because I have heard and read so much about this space. Can you tell us more about the Salon 27?
It was curated for my birthday, to celebrate my 70th birthday last year. So I basically transformed this gallery space into
compared with a table from Louis XVI period, and that is so rare to see in Hong Kong.
Well, I like simplicity. It's very elegant. It's like has a bit of Shongnanese kind of cinema, very simple, and has a very Asian, Central Asian touches, but costume archery.
And look at the centerpiece. It's just so beautiful. Because it works so well with the decorative arts around. I can see the mixture from different culture and history. Like what we have there is that Ming Dynasty cloisonné table throw.
All the juxtaposition of optics on this table and everywhere in the room is actually trying to create contrast, create conversation, create story. It's about how I put optics on the table to drive the emotion of the eye to move around and see things. I would call that performance. When I said that this table is room, it's like performance.
And here this cat is actually from the 18th century, Louis XV. The porcelain part is from China. It is from the Qing period, and the base is a French bronze base, and it was once collected by one of the most important collector, Madame de Pompadour. The piece was created by this Monsieur. He's a tastemaker at the time, very well known, and just like you today, Alan, bringing all these beautiful objects together.
Well, I have to admit, I think the French really understand what chinoiserie is all about, how the East meets West. The word chinoiserie is such a stylish way to embrace what we have in this room.
And how about this Nietzsche painting?
Well, here's my, I always want to collect his work, and then I have a couple of his calligraphy. And this is a Chinese character of boat. They actually composed of two main brush strokes, one at the back, and the last one is like a horizontal brush, which springs from the left to the right. Simultaneously, ink spill over the entire white space to create the dimension of the painting. But what it means actually is actually suggests the movement of the boat. That's the grip of the water. Life's a journey, we have to move on. Now, this tournament, I hope the three pieces are Murakami, Yuan, and also this beautiful Chinese green. You can see this green line. Actually, my life is studies about my memory, about Arashiyama and Kyoto, Japan before. I think that work in the Asian perspective, and that's also part of my landscape concept. On the other wall, where I have all the landscape, so Yuan is really interesting painting. The major part of it reminds me of wandering and reminds of Chinese window, so that is part of the landscape. Murakami, smiling faces, flowers in a landscape. You see later, you see flowers. That's how they come together.
Well, personally, I think the music room is my favorite here. There's the atmosphere you create. Is there any reason you picked this piece to be here?
You know the figure the scene and the duet. To me, it's the same kind of emotion. It's about staging. Of course, collecting is important in my life because I'm a designer, I'm a curator, and I'm also a young artist. So for collecting, there's so much to learn from. I rented objects from the street market. I got it from an art dealer, a British shop, or even auction houses. This whole encyclopedia of knowledge that you can get in your hand.
The next project I want to share with you is a project which is once in a lifetime project. I'm sure you all have this kind of experience. And this project is not going to repeat in my life because to find a client who is so supportive, spending so much money on the curatorial of art, which I collaborate with 10 different artists all over the world and bring different objects from Europe. I spent 2 weeks in London and Paris, meeting artists in Tokyo, back to Beijing. This is a wonderful project which I work with a wonderful gentleman who's Kusaka-san. So we've been working for the last 10 years. Because before I had my own interior design team, I collaborate with different interior design, mostly in Japan. So Kusaka-san is one of those mastermind some of our projects. Because I'm not a technical person, I'm a brand consultant. So I came up with marketing strategy. Then upon agree with the client, they bring all this data to Japan to meet with different designers and come up with all this bubble diagram, and of course at the end of the day all the technical drawing. And that's how I work on interior design 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, before I had my design team, interior design team, I worked with many different designers in Japan, basically. So this is the project that I always show it wherever I am, because, as I said, this is one of a lifetime project.
It's a place for entertainment, but it's also a place for culture. It is a creation on a worldwide platform, a seamless unity of art and commerce. Malaysia has over 100 years of rich colonial history. The Western influence can be seen everywhere. By exploring 5,000 years of Chinese art and culture with a global vision, we have created a new synthesis of East and West, Oriental passion, Western harmony.
I'm sorry about the volume. It should be less louder. So. It took us 2.5 years from beginning to completion, this project.
Only known team for this art venture is truly a dream come true. This exquisite collection is a myriad of Asian themes touched by Western aesthetics, inspired by some of the most well-known Chinese mythologies.
He's one of my heroes, Mark Quinn. He does not only sculpture, but incredible painting. I still remember last time I met him in Venice about 6 years ago. His marble sculpture from Italy that he created was incredibly beautiful. So I commissioned him on 4 Chinese paintings, basically the most famous 4 Chinese flowers, the bamboo, the chrysanthemum, Mulan Gukzuk, basically. So all the art were actually Asian-inspired concepts. So I commissioned artists all over the world creating Asian-inspired subject matters. So how did I work with Soraman-san? Because he has been my hero in the 70s, and he has been doing airbrush, and he has never created a sexy robot bigger than lifestyle. So I commissioned him a sexy robot in a private room, composed of 12 Chinese soldiers. So he created rabbit for me. And the finger is the Qixi Tai Hao, the long fingernail. So I actually crossed over with him on this figure. And then a few years later, Dior discovered him and put him on the world map. So, and then he's not only famous, but he's super rich now. She's leading probably the best female photographer in Asia. And 10 years ago, she already charged one photograph $1 million because her campaign was for international run through entire China. So even $1 million for one photograph is very affordable for them. So I collaborated with her. I went to Dunhuang. I took a photograph of the cave drawing. We went back to Beijing and shot each and every model single-handed naked, and then with all the post-production, which she's well known and famous for. So after Kosaka laid down the bubble diagram, the flow and everything, so we could work on all the detail. It was such a joy. For example, I created this chandelier in the private room. This is my chandelier design using Swarovski. So Kosaka, sexy robot display with other artists from all over the world. So the owner is actually one of the richest guy running casino, but he's also one of the most respectable collector of art. So when I proposed this concept of art program based on Chinese culture, immediately he bought it, and he spent a hell of a lot of money for me to commission art here and to Basically, we didn't buy things. We just site-specific curated based on the orientation of the size, of the color, and then we work along the entire space with all original artwork. So this is one of the famous artists in Hong Kong, but we actually, after he did a drawing, Ma Wing-sing, so we sent to Suzhou to hand embroider the embroidery. This artist from China, but he's living in New York now. This is another young artist. The lake is actually composed of love letters, of love stories, Chinese character. The mouth of the dragon is actually where the DJ booth is located. The next project is a project of civil. When the client actually came to us, he already has a proposal that M+ approved. I was the brand consultant responsible for logo mark, collateral, a little bit of graphics. I looked at it, I told Vincent, the owner, I said, I'm not sure about this design. And I didn't know Enoch at all. And I said, can I meet your architect? Oh, of course. So I met the architect. I said, well, I'm not sure, but I didn't say bad thing. I said, can we talk about how do we elevate this concept, which is more closer to the description I talk about Herzog, about all the natural environment, blah, blah, blah. The original concept also based on Suzhou Garden with bridges, water, and a lot of Chinese green, very decadent, so nothing wrong with it, but it should not be here. It's like you're being dressed wrongly to a different location, You're wearing an evening dress for breakfast or brunch. That doesn't work. So I said, this is not that I don't like your design. And I went back, we heard says consent. I went back to the owner. I said, can we meet again? So I said, those are the sets of languages that doesn't really fit into here. So can I make a proposal? I came back, I talked to I said, this is how I see it. And said, wonderful. Why don't we go back to Vincent? So we presented Vincent. And he loved it, so we presented M+, and they love it more. So we came up with this idea, which is completely 360-degree change from the original plan. And of course, one of the conditions, if Tino is not on board, I'm not going to do the job. So there you are. It's a real challenge, I think, I believe, speaking of Tino, because the day and night has such a contrast. So how to maintain the integrity of the design, work both around the clock, I think that is a challenge. And one of the real challenge was when I presented the bubble diagram, the floor plan, the client was asking, why the private room are not facing the harbor? I said, you're living on the mid-level. Would you wine and dine and look at the harbor? You never. So why don't we, when we have private room, you're enclosed in a room and you don't look at outside. So I said, why don't we create this corridor of 40 seats? In countries, we said, 手拖手位 is where you bring your loved one, to look at the view in the nighttime. So that's how we create this corridor idea, which is also part of the Chinese garden concept. In order to create the intimacy, so there you see the sun blind. Actually, there's an automatic remote control can control the blind to come down to enclose for 2 to 4, a multiple of 2-person sitting plan facing the harbor. Okay. And also because of the constraint with M+, we are not allowed to hang any painting, especially famous artist, because in this case, if you do it here, that means you're promoting the artist. So I came with the idea of creating a projection of abstract ink painting based using IG concept. So this entire IG, China abstract ink painting, we spent 2 months working on it. It rotates every 30 minutes, which you see tonight when you have dinner. So I'll take an episode, 5 minutes to share with you. So how did I create the IG painting? Because I've been influenced by so many artists, from Picasso to Monet to Zheng Daqin to whatever, even Sora Yamasan. So I scan the images, all those artists who have heavy influence on me, talking to the IG. They came up with different images. I talked to them again with words, with picture, then came up with images. Then we tried to motivate, create program to make them like a video, what you're about to see. So I'm going to share with you just 5 minutes. But tonight, while we have dinner, you'll see the entire video, which is like an unroll of a Chinese screen in front of you. So it's AI, so I said I was taking IG. It's an AI ink painting, which I created. So all these lines are actually originally created by masters. So when we scan them into the program, we modify them. We try to move them as much as we can. And surprisingly came up with unexpected motion, which is what I wanted, or which is what I never expected. Of course, again, we have very limited budget. We have better technology, financial support. We can make it even smoother or even better. So the next project is also during COVID. I'm stuck here, so I was given an opportunity to design my first jewelry shop and my first series of jewelry design, collaborating with Boston-based owner, Chinese, who has his jewelry shop at the Mandarin Oriental Hotel for almost 60 years since its opening. And he has a diffusion brand, a younger brand, where he lives at the Princess Building, upstairs of Chanel Boutique. So he asked me about how to create a brand for the next market. So I came up with the idea of target at the millennium to Gen Z, more affordable luxury, we call it. Because I was given a small share of the company. So because my partner is actually a Harvard scientist, he's still teaching, but he passed away 4 months ago at the Harvard University in America. So I'm a designer, so I was trying to think about the brand position, the founder. So how should we create this kind of DNA to talk to the audience? So he's a scientist, I'm an artist. So I came up with a slogan, from eternity to infinity. And I also came up with a jewelry concept because we are late coming in the jewelry business and the economy is so slow. So while all the main master brand are even down to the secondary brand like from Cartier, Tiffany to Killen, they are occupying the market in such a powerful way. There's no way we can penetrate the market. So, and they have a very strong image and a lot of money to produce on a seasonal basis on jewelry. So my idea was to come up with a strategically DNA of these two guys, him and me. So what does eternity be infinity mean? It means beyond, there's no time limit, so there's no constraint of time. So I came up with the idea about infinity idea, which is about eternity to infinity. And because I don't think we can afford the time and money to create jewelry on a seasonal basis. So I came up with this symbol, which I believe is going to last. So you're going to see in a minute, because when you wear a piece of my jewelry, you're not wearing a piece of jewelry. You're wearing a piece of belief in your life, and that's how we create it. The shop is very unique and outstanding. No one has done a shop before. This is the open plan, like a WeWork space, very tiny. So everybody come in and sit on the same table. And when you come in, you actually don't really see the jewelry. I created a eye-level panoramic kind of display unit. Only when you come close to it, the light, the box will light up, then you see the jewelry inside. And by the time the salesperson see you're interested, you will sit down on the table, which is based on the initial of the logo. So let's have a look. And also there's a light swatch that moves around every 45 minutes, slowly like this. So the shop from dim to light, from dim to light. So when light exists, you feel the existence of time, you feel the eternity, infinity, the element of the DNA of the shop, of the brand, should I say. The mother company at the Mandarin Hotel, because it's, has an initial of Z. So this younger brand, diffusion brand, whatever you call it, derived from the family name Z. Also during COVID, I've done so much stuff here. So we work closely with Empress. And I'm sure those who have been in Hong Kong long enough, you know, there was in 1985, there was a discotheque called Canton Disco, which was world famous, like Studio 64 of New York. And all the stars, you name it, or who came to Hong Kong, has to be there to be taken a photograph. There was no IG, but everybody was taking photographs. So it's a celebrity kind of the disco. We were responsible for the branding. And then about 4 months ago, Empress wanted to bring it back, bring this sort of pop culture into the market. So they want to create another Canton Disco night. So the Canton Disco was located on Canton. That's why it's called Canton Disco. At that time, in '85, when I was 35 years old, I used one of my secret card collection, which I bought in London and China, a street train, a set of 48 swimmer teaching how to swim. Every card behind this description. What are cigarette cards for? Cigarette cards are for people to encourage the consumer to consume more of the cigarette because each pack has a different image. By the time you collect a set, maybe you win a prize, something like that. So from the 30, from UK to America and back to Shanghai, Hong Kong, they were using cigarette card in the cigarette to promote cigarette. So I have a set of swimmer. Why swimmer? Because in the 40s and 50s and 60s, a lot of people swam across the border from Canton to Hong Kong for freedom. And why swimmer? Because swimmer symbolize dynamism, energy, and then at that time he was wearing one piece of swimsuit. I think it was very calm and sexy, so I used it as my symbol. So during that night of the Canton School, they invited over 300 guests here, so I created this 60-meter long projection of the swimmer. So 300 people dancing in front of my video. Again, during COVID, I did a restaurant design, spent 2 bloody tough time in Macau working on a restaurant design for the Stanley Ho family. This is probably the most luxurious canteen restaurant in the world, which has been created because the budget they spent on the interior fitting was incredibly high. And again, they sent me to London and Paris for 2 weeks. I bought all the objects. Of course, also, again, we commissioned a lot of artists, a lot of art program. Actually, in all my interior design, there's always a fee of art program, separate from the interior design fee, which is usually higher than the design fee. So we did it, and luckily we have Tino. So I took all these pictures were taken by my iPhone, so please bear with it, because I couldn't travel to Macau. And Tino, we are supposed to go and adjust the lighting. So if anything wrong here, it's not Tino's fault, it's a client's fault. Again, the architecture was so level, so we created this concept based on a palace garden, imperial palace in Qing Dynasty. So a lot of artwork were created based on this East-West dialogue between how the West come to the East, how the East try to welcome them. So a lot of art program is especially based on legendary Chinese story. For this Chinese red chamber were etched on the glass. This lithograph was based on the lithograph which I bought in London in Portobello Road, but hand embroidered both sides. And the embroidery behind was based on a book I collected 150 years ago, woodblock print from Kyoto, featuring 100 chrysanthemum. So we collaged it in computer and sent it to Suzhou. We have 50 artists spent and extended 1 year to embroider. This is the longest embroidery in the world. Looks very nice already. No, you have to come with me. This is called a butterfly room, and this is a digital video we created with an artist from China, based on the skyline of Macau and Hong Kong, of course. A It's a project. Is a pet project created for one of our buddy, which we also work very closely with Tino and also Steve Leung. Killen, we created a brand identity, and then 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I was asked to direct a TV commercial for him. So this is a TV commercial. Dennis Chen, the founder owner, is one of our heroes in Hong Kong. For those who don't know him, he's world famous. He's probably one of the richest designers in Asia. So we bought by Killen Group, who also owned Gucci about 10 years ago. The next project to share with you is we've been working with European brands from Louis Vuitton to Bernardot, the tableware company, to Pinton, who 150 years carpet company who make carpet for Picasso Miro. So they produced one of my first carpet at Aubuchon, 5 hours away from Paris, and was displayed at the Salone this year. We also work for wallpaper company in Italy. So this is, of course, another pet project we worked for Louis Vuitton about some years ago on the tea trunk. So each year, since about 7 years ago, they have a Chinese tour. So every year they pick a city. This was taking place in Beijing. So literally they shipped over 100 trunks and then invited all the VIP guests came over to view the trunk, to collect the trunk, and to have a private dinner. So this was based on Chinese care of tea. So this created a compartment of the tea trunk inside. So when you buy the tea trunk, you say collect also my tea collection from Japan, also from Jingdezhen, China. A year later, it took place at the Peninsula Hotel Annex in Shanghai. This time it's more crazy. It shipped 200 trunks, of course, mostly sold out, especially those limited editions. So this is the trunk I created for much smaller, only filled with the purple clay teapot, 紫砂茶壶. I think as a designer, we have to create pet projects for ourselves. Those are some of the pet projects. But one of the most real pet projects is my Kyoto project. I bought a small house 5.5 years ago in Kyoto and turned it into a gallery. It's not about making money. It's about getting closer to our Asian culture. Because Japanese has kept the Asian or Chinese culture in such a mint condition. You go to any kaiseki restaurant in Kyoto, every small bowl and plate is over 50, 200, 300 years. I'm always amazed all the dinner plates. So I decided to open this gallery to put my hand closer to the Japanese culture, especially the craft. Of course, we sell things, but it's not about selling. It's about giving me an opportunity to get closer to the Asian root. So that's how I created this gallery in Kyoto. It's located next to a 200 years old temple. 3 minutes from Philosopher Path. 27 is my birthday. So I actually demolished everything inside using old wood from Kyoto or whatever I can do to turn it around. This was our first exhibition on teaware from Taiwan, from China, and from Japan. And we also collaborate with a 200 years old wagashi shop. We gave them a lot of plate, a collection container, asked them to create a wagashi based on the container we provide to them. This was one of our very last exhibitions on contemporary bamboo art pieces. I'm sure you go to Fine Art Asia, you find some of this now today. So because of this, I was given an opportunity to collaborate with Japanese who live in Singapore, who want to create a tea ceremony kind of event in one of the oldest, or probably the oldest temple, 600 years old, Kanji, right in the heart of Gion in Kyoto. So he gave me a beautiful room facing the 400 years old Japanese garden and asked me to do something about it. So I came up with the idea with some of the books collection, which I have over 100-something years old, on focus on teaware and also flower arrangement. So I digitalized the book, put it in like a long scroll format, display on the floor of the tatami, and on top display some of those on my collection. Actually, the video projections is one of my video art, which I'm going to share with you after this. The video which I'm going to share with you actually, again, inspiration from Kyoto. A lot of my traveling to Kyoto 2 or 3 times a year gave me a lot of peacefulness, I would say. Every time I'm in Kyoto, every time I'm around Osaka, getting my car, and out a 15-minute drive down to Kyoto, it was so peaceful. My mind just suddenly just so relaxed. And this is why I'm there all the time. And of course, I've been collecting a lot of small objects from blue and white plate to calligraphy to whatever you name it, even some furniture. But the more inspiring image, which has been stuck in my mind for the last 15, 20 years, is a piece of fabric that hangs at the entrance of a house or restaurant we call Lorraine, Lunim, that float around in the air, that peacefully, slowly, and that really, really stuck here forever. And I'm always amazed by this movement. I think I think that piece of Lorraine was created 2,000 years ago in Japan. It was first of all to screen the sun coming into the house, to screen the dust. But later, 1,000 years ago, it was turned into a kanban, signboard for restaurants and tea houses. So I was amazed by the story, and I've been taking a lot of pictures with iPhone, which you probably know. So suddenly I have the idea of combining this sort of modern technology, the iPhone, with this 2,000 years old kind of movement, gesture, into an art installation composed of images taken by my iPhone. Obviously, they started from iPhone 4, so that's the silhouette of the proportion of the phone. What you see in the frame is actually what is in my iPhone. I didn't change it. I didn't even modify the colors. So it is taken in the iPhone as this format. But they were taken casually during 10 years of traveling in Kyoto. There's no intention of creating this video. So suddenly one day, my mind just opened up. I said, well, can I combine these two together? And I came up with this idea. At the beginning, it was tough because I was looking for a programmer who can move these images like this, like electro fabric. And I couldn't find anyone. And one day, through one introduction, I found this company, this guy in Beijing, who made this for me. So this was created like 10 years ago or 9 years ago, I can't remember. All these black and white images are actually sakura light up in Daikokuchi in the nighttime. Here you see different color palette of typical Kyoto subtlety of colors. As I said, later they'll be using light as a signboard for tea house, restaurant in particular. Always fascinated by the exported wood, all the houses in Kyoto. So every time I walk through different alley or street, I always put my hands on the texture because it's about story, it's about emotion, it's about the nature. last project to share with you guys is I'm 73 years old. I actually overpassed my retirement age for a long, long time. But I still go to work from 12 noon time to 8 o'clock every night. I still travel as much as I can. I think as a designer, as a creator, I think we need to be inspired and we need to move on. And I think without doing design, I don't know how I can move on. So I think there's a Chinese motto. We always say, live for today. I think this last project is about another project I did over 25 years with Seiko clock in Japan. At that time, they commissioned different artists all over the world to design a clock. And about 7 years ago, I bought the, we call it IP right, commission. So I got the right to produce my own watch. I turned it a watch. So watch timepiece is actually an imported piece to Asia. Asia never had clock, a timepiece before. So we were using sunlight, daylight, shadow to read our time. So I was thinking this is a product from the West. So how do an Asian designer from the East to create a watch of that concept? So I came with the ideas of Chinese brushstroke, Chinese character, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12. So you read the watch, I'm sure some of them have seen it, but yes. So each character, each number has one missing stroke. So when the minutes hand move in the right position, you complete it and complete numerals. I took all the pictures in Tokyo and also in Kyoto. That's all for today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alan, for all these wonderful videos. May I ask our chairman again, Mr. Horace Pan, to present the certificate to Mr. Alan Chan, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. Sorry, I know it's a bit long, but I'm sure everyone is enjoying it. And the last part, we'll have Tino Guan to present with us. Thank you. Tino, please.
Thank you. I think all of you must be tired and hungry. But I promise you, I only have 2 projects to show you. I will make it quick. And my name is Tino Guan Yongquan. So I'm sure a lot of you may have heard of me before, but I think this may be the first time that I have met everyone today. Thanks very much for coming. Okay, so we start with this self-introduction a little bit. I've started my company in London since 1979. So next year will be my 45th anniversary. So I beat Alan Chan by 2 years. So I have 3 offices, a head office in Hong Kong, and the branch office in Beijing and also Tokyo. We have a total of like 60 staff all combined. I'm the principal consultant of my company and also the president of APHDA, which is the Asia Pacific Hotel Design Association, which is the largest design platform and for hospitality design. And so actually some of the designers here, like Kusaka-san, Shinya-san, and Alan Chan had been our guest speakers, during our annual conference. So I've been the president of this association since 2016. And every year we have a design annual conference. We have like about 1,800 people from all different cities and from the world, and also many international designers, came to share and for a 3 days conference. All along, I have my own design philosophy is to utilize minimal lighting equipment to achieve maximum lighting effect. So everybody knows how to do lighting design. You can design your own home, maybe your own office. But a lot of the time, a lot of people, they don't have the confidence, or they don't realize that by putting a lot of lights, in the space, and it becomes very confused. Actually, it becomes a big confusion. So when I saw that, so I would tell myself I would never do that. So I would use minimal lighting. Because I'm a lighting designer, I work with architects, I work with interior designers. If I put a lot of lights in the space, it will only destroy their interior. So this is one thing that I would not do. And then a lot of designer friends asked me, if you use so little light, would that be not enough? Then I would tell them, because when I plan the lighting, I not just plan one light doing one purpose, because each light has its own purpose, and when it shines on a certain materials or surface, it gives reflection. Lighting is like sounds. It kind of bounces and give reflection. Say for example, when the light's hitting on the floor, it bounces to the wall, and the wall bounces back to the ceiling and bounces back. So this is the trick. Not the trick, is my discovery, how to utilize lighting, for its maximum effect by considering all these reflections. Then I end up using less. Okay. So you can see the following of my work, how simple, my lighting design is, and it's very precise, and it's also very, very powerful. So since you're all here, then I use this one of my projects to share with you. And so we have Enoch, we have Alan, doing the interior, I doing the lighting. I guess you came in the day during the daytime, so maybe you really haven't really experienced, the entrance coming in from that lobby. So I would suggest after the break, before dinner, or maybe during dinner, go to that lobby, the lift lobby, come out, you can experience, the lighting effect, which is a very nice, journey to appreciate, the interior and the lighting. Maybe I don't need to go over, my lighting plan design. Maybe I just go over the overall concept. And so this is a very, very long corridor. When we come out, this is the arrival lobby, what I was talking about. So when I design a space, I always try to walk through the space myself. What do I see? What will I experience? What will I expect? So when you come into a space, you need to really help people to, give a sense of arrival and a sense of surprises, and be able to appreciate, the interior, the materials, and the design concept, So the lift lobby is a very, very important space for me, to have lighting, to give a very contrasting lighting here by highlighting the wall over here and then uplighting the other side to make a very, very good or high contrast, to make it very dramatic and be able to light up the wall and the patterns on the walls. I think maybe I should explain that through the pictures later. So I think I just quickly go for the overall lighting plan. This was, in fact, my presentation to the client. So, and when we do the design, we already considered, the technical aspect, because there's no use to give the clients a beautiful rendering, and at the end, the lighting may not be able to work. So at the very beginning, we consider, how to install the light, the details, then we'll work with the interior designers and all the dimensions that we require. So these are the details, how this light helps to bring out the louvers by the windows, out there. And then the ceiling lighting together with the downlight, in between. And then the high power wall washers, washing all these sliding doors. This is the room we are in. Basically, it will be downlight and wall washers and conceal the cove light. And that's the corridor outside where artwork will be displayed. And that's the other studio, I think we call it studio entrance. These are some of the lighting that we have specified. And I use very simple light fittings, and also doesn't have to be very expensive, fittings, because when I designed, I considered the quality of the light. It doesn't matter which particular manufacturer, as long as it meets my design requirements. And this is a plant uplight. And because of the layout, because of the plant, considering the plant is movable, so it's difficult to put like a floor outlet and then to have a tree-mounted uplights there. So in fact, this light I have designed like over 10 years ago, I think maybe 12 years ago, for a project of the Peninsula Hotel in Shanghai. The reason why I have finally designed this rechargeable stick-mounted tree uplight was because when the original design didn't call for any planters. After they have completed the design, and then the hotels wanted to have some plants inside, and then it's impossible to, put in or dig in the floor, the marble floor, to put a socket outlet. So I have designed a battery chargeable uplight 12 years ago. So I did the same for this project. Just later on, you can see all the plants. We have this rechargeable uplights for the plants. So with the magic of our lighting, you can see, really appreciate, once you come out the lift lobby, can see, the circles and then the texture wall behind. So this is the one that I was talking about, to have high power wall washer washing between, and this contrasting that with uplighting behind it. It forms a very, very dramatic entrance. And this is a very good experience when you walk out from the lift. When I didn't call for this. When you walk out from the lift, your back is pressing the button. So this door opens, and you can really see the transformations, welcoming you to this restaurant. This is caused by just one battery-operated uplight. Very, very flexible. And the contrasting of the lighting. The long, long corridor. What do we do with such a long corridor? So normally, when you come to a corridor, people will put a row of downlights, But this is such an important entry. So a downlight is for what? It's for the back of house. Okay, I will never use a downlight if I can avoid it as a general lighting. I will either wall wash in the wall to give bounce light back or cove light. And for this particular, corridor, again, because of the ceiling reflections, the materials, so we were using a high power wall washers washing this, because this is really a design features. And it highlighting that, and also reflected back on this, it forms a very, very nice illusion of a high ceiling. For the view to the harbor view, we play down the light levels over here, so we softly lit up, the louver you can see, because it's also part of the features. So, but we're not highlighting, so you'll be able to see much more outside to the views. So this is the restaurant that you'll be going in next door. The lighting is very simple. It's because of this louver ceiling, we have created a cove light around it, and we wall washing the end walls, but because again of the flexibility requirements of the the table layout, we have designed using a remote control downlight. So it can be remote control with memories. So whenever you move the tables, you put another setting, push of a button, the lights will go to a different table settings without you climbing up to change, the angle of the downlight. And that is the Alan Chen's work of art. There's a private room next door. And that's the entrance from the other lift lobby. You see these 6 lights there, which I hate, because it was supposed to be mounted higher. If you can see from the other side, when we designed it, we give the dimension, this light was supposed to be higher, so when you walk out the lift lobby, you're not supposed to see it. But they made a mistake. But the contractor promised me to change it, but still haven't done that yet. Such simple things, But we gave dimensions. That's why we're so critical about, installation details. And a lot of the time, the contractors didn't follow properly, But it forms a very, very different entrance experience, This kind of a whitewashed, like a art gallery feel, comparing, to this very warm and dramatic, lift lobby entrance. That's what I meant. When you come out, I always want you, to experience or to find surprises, Even small, toilets, again, we're trying to make a different lighting approach. Instead of having, lights above the basins, we, again, saw the opportunity to be able to lit up these special design features on the mirrors, and by having a road of light, behind that. Every detail counts for us. When we design, we always need to know about the whole interior design concept, the materials, and also the function of this space, because every space requires different lighting atmosphere or lighting, functions. So now we're going to the second project. Are you still hungry? I'll make it quick. This is, tomorrow is another day, which is the name of the project, is TED in short, which I have the pleasure of working with my dear friend, again, Kosaka-san. Kosaka-san seems to be the star of our presentation today, right? So that's the projects in Nagoya. It's a very special hotels because the owner is the specialized in funerals and weddings. So, and then he has many shops for the wedding gowns and all that, and also like function rooms, for celebrations. So finally, he designed to open a hotel especially for wedding. And we did the facade lighting also. For facade lighting, we, especially for hotels, we will appreciate, lighting should never be gone into the hotel rooms, to disturb the guests, or the guests standing out of the window would not be blinded by the lighting, on the building. So we will concentrate on the features, architectural features, in the podium level and also on the top. So we come into the entrance lobby. Kosaki-san created these columns of stones with rough edges on the side. When he presented, or we discussed, about the design, he had the idea of putting a light in front of the rough surfaces to light up the entrance. Then when I look at the overall plan, then I said, maybe it's better to light the front instead of lighting the edge. Although we worked together on many projects, he trusted me, but I can see in his eyes, he has doubt. Why? This is rough edges. We should light it. Why light this side? I said, trust me. I'll show you. So I went back, and then I do a full-size mock-up. And then we are very, very happy. The lighting is lighting this wall, but remember I talked about reflections? Reflection is reflected onto this instead of highlighting that. If this is too powerful, it really kills that. Subtle reflection is actually more effective to highlight it. And also because of the surfaces, because of the arrangement, and by putting here, it helps me not just to light this, light that, and also lighting the inside of the interior. Later on, you can see that. So when I showed him these pictures, and then I think he was happy to accept, right? So this is the inside of the car park area. So that is the interior. Once you come in, when you turn left, you turn to this bridal salon. This is what I meant by lighting the flat surfaces. It also provides light into the interiors. Again, that helps me to use less light. So it has multi-purposes when you can think of the reflections. That's a lift lobby. There's another lift lobby. Lighting is also about layering. So in kind of an empty space, we look at the walls, we look at the screens. That helps me to give layers, to the space. So from one layer to another layer. So here, the first layers here, we're using uplights, to light up the screen, and then the back wall, which is the most important space in the elevation in the space. So we're washing that one. So we created this kind of layering and also creating the depth, in a space. Bridal salon, and that's the coming in here. So Again, the lighting would also helps to give direction, so it's like a orientation to lead you in with the cove light and also the lighting on the side. And this is the salon with all the wedding dresses. Again, lighting plays a very important part because it helps you, to focus, be able to see or to select, the dresses, the most important dresses, in one's, life, I guess. And then for the other area where the kimonos were stored or displayed, soft lighting would enhance or to bring out these very subtleness of the what's it called? Kimono, sorry. Pre-functions and banquets, they have quite a few pre-function and banquets because that's the business. And again, here I wanted, very simple kind of a space and lighting, but again, it demonstrates a different lighting qualities. Besides the cove light ceiling, we have lighting addressing the entrance, highlighting the entrance to the banquet room. The transition will be played down just the corridor. And again, at the back, another corridor, we're going to have another cove light that gives really, again, layering and dimensions, to the space. I think Osaka-san gave me a challenge. He created this waffle ceiling. Now, instead of this simple trellis ceiling, he make it like, wavy. So of course, now you see the effect. But when you look at the drawings, how are you going to express that? How are you going to bring out these curvatures, and also not to make it boring or too even? So we created, all these indirect lights above the edge of these louvers or blades, and then we came up with this effect. Which is beautiful. Simple architectural lighting, really, to bring out the structure or the shape of the architecture. Okay. Foyer and lounge. This is where you have like a breakout. You have cocktails over here. And again, there was cove light in the ceiling, and then we requested, to have another, cove light tinting to softly wash it. So in such a big space, I have only 7 lights in the ceiling. This is the reception. And I like to demonstrate this with these pictures. This is a corridor space. In a corridor space, again, normally it would be just general lighting. You'll be able to do the job, to walk through. Again, I'm not satisfied just to put general lighting because, if you're calling me to do the design, I would do everything different or special. So on one side of the wall, I use wall washers to give indirect light back to the space. So I don't need any ceiling light. And when this corridor turns, we need very subtle, like a footlight over here. So it can do like a very good contrast. And then for the columns, we give a punch or accent light, to up on the ceiling. So this, you will see that column is similar to this one, giving that kind of an effect. And then at the back of this display bar, and we're using the uplight. Again, this uplight helps to really enhance, the vertical strips. And when this is opened, you can see the light is spilling out to the ceiling, forming very interesting shadows. That's the bar that Kusaka-san and I were sitting there for a long time to balance the lighting and discussing how to best, to lit up the, the bottles at the back. Chapel. They have their own chapel, a very, very nice chapel. And this is, I don't know, I haven't really counted how many lights. They are kind of a wooden strips. And then at the end, there's a crystal with an LED light. The chapel is very dramatic, but this, with all this light, it doesn't give sufficient light, for people, for the bride, and to walk down, and also to light up the altar. So between all these lights, I have concealed this remote control spotlight, that would be able to direct and also to light up the aisles. That's the lobby, and it's a beautiful Japanese paper, which is like a prism shape, and lighting are concealed from below and above, to give this kind of effect. Again, with using two different circuits, so in the evening, I like the one uplighting to be brighter, and the one be less bright, to form this kind of a more interesting kind of a gradation. That's all the dining. Some private rooms. The Japanese restaurant is tiny, but it's very cool, with the feature walls, which I have lit up, using wash light, and also at the back we don't need a lot of light, so we're using a footlight at the back. This is the swimming pool area, and a very interesting and dramatic kind of end to the swimming pool by having almost like 20 cm of crystal glass. So you can see through, the swimming pool. And besides lighting up the ceiling, this green wall, so I use linear light, to light up the bottom of the wall of the pool. And you can see from here to people that are swimming inside. And then the more interesting thing is the steps. The steps, this is outside the pool. So the steps climbing up, walk up there, and then these are the lights inside the pool. These are the steps inside. So it's just interesting, transitions with the light. Simple corridor, I think. Again, when I see the layout of the room with the curve and the linears, so I requested, have cold light, to bring out, the shape of the room. Same reason for this. And this is the changing area. Again, when I try to, whenever I can use indirect light, I would use, trying to hide the light, at the top of the cabinet, to give indirect light to the ceiling. In a gym, we normally would prefer not to put any down light in the ceiling because when you do exercise, when you look up, you have glare in your eyes. So we're using kind of diffuse light in the ceiling. But if it's all diffuse light in the ceiling, the room becomes very boring and flat. So in the space, we're trying to make some contrast by putting kind of a uplight, and to the wall and helps to light up the ceiling, and then to kind of reveal the cove, like a cove inside. Very quickly, go to the guest rooms, make it very simple, but again, very effective, and again, make the room more spacious. The Japanese suite, again with some features lighting at the back of the bed and also the wall. The Western suite. That comes to the end of this project, and I think I can skip all these ongoing projects we are doing, but I want to end with one slide of this. This is a project I have done in Taipei, in the Meridian Hotel. You don't know what it is. Ellen should be here. Yep. This is something nobody can understand, okay? But with the help of lighting. Only with the heart one can see light. Thank you.
Thank you so much for launching the time for us. May I please invite our chairman again, Mr. Horace Pan, to present a certificate to Tino. Again. I deliberately invited Tino to join our talks yesterday and today because, during the pandemic, not only we had a lot of other new creativities, but we did have a lot of collaborations. Unfortunately, Enoch is not here with us today. Yeah, otherwise it will be more interesting. So thank you everyone for your patience.
Perfect timing. Huh?
Yeah, perfect timing. Now we have about 30 minutes before dinner starts. So we have a cocktail reception outside at the corridor, or if some of you are interested about walking around this building, I would suggest you to go to level 3 at the podium. At the podium, they have a balcony on both sides to look at the harbor side and also the city side. Yeah, so feel free to walk around and come back at 7:30 and be seated for the dinner. One last thing, thank you so much for Seaview for providing us this beautiful space for free, of course. Thank you so much.
Even dinner?
Thank you very much. And before everyone leaves, I would like to invite 3 of the chairmen, Kuwada-san, Horace Pan, and Imi Chao, come to the stage to take a group picture with Alan and Tino. Please.
Sure.
Is Alan still here? Alan? Group photo.
And all the speakers also.
Yeah, next. With 5 of you first. And the rest of the other speakers, be ready. Yeah, please remain and then we are. Okay, one more.
Please, no, my camera first. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. Yeah, which one? Sure. One. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. Nice.
And other speakers, please. Wataru-san, Zama-san, Daisuke, Mini, Ken and CM, Calvin.
All the speakers. The second line maybe. Okay. Maybe. Forward this way. Okay. Oh, what's that? All right. Okay. It could be okay. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Wow. Forward. Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Cheese ball. Maybe Laia give the heart. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Nice.
Okay. Thank you very much. And please feel free to grab a drink and then come back to the dinner hall next door at 7:30.
Okay. 7:30.
Yeah. Thank you. お疲れ様でした。